Welcome to the Pink Lady Posse podcast, where women over 50 take a fresh look at living, toss out tired stereotypes, and say a big heck yes to what's next. I'm your host, Sandy Parker, and around here, we challenge limitations, rewrite the story on aging, and reclaim our power, pleasure, and purpose. Why? Our next years are not about a decline. They are our big reveal. I'm Sandy Parker, sometimes Sandy Parker Martinez, and I am here with Doreen Downing, who is, a beautiful friend through what's really available to us, which is reaching out to someone you care about or is interested in,
Yes.
having a meeting and developing a connection. I mean, it's such a beautiful thing.
Yeah. This opportunity, well, I think more of it came available to us after the pandemic or during the pandemic, just open up this space of, well, we can't show up and be in person. What are these other ways? And I would say that now being able to meet you through the internet, it feels like, oh, you could still have wonderful friendships and that's the word, the meaningful relationships with others around the world.
I love that. Let me introduce you to Dr. Doreen Downing.
Thank you.
And she's not just a clinical psychologist with degrees from prestigious universities, which I have to say, I actually really like that and respect that.
Thank you.
She's a woman who cracked open one of the most personal challenges we can face, the fear of using our voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you say that, it kind of resonates with me, the journey that I've been on and how I feel so passionate about helping others find their voice.
I
What
remember,
my
we'll talk
journey's
about
been.
that, but I remember
Yeah.
when I met you, I thought, oh, who needs help with their voice? So, despite decades of expertise in human behavior, Doreen secretly struggled with intense public speaking anxiety.
Yes.
Instead of hiding behind the title, she chose to do the deep inner work, and what emerged is her life signature contribution, the Find Your Voice method. A powerful blend of psychology, mindfulness, and lived experience created to help others break free from silence and finally speak their truth, whether in boardrooms, on stages, in their own homes, in their marriages, in their, it goes on and on.
Yes.
So, welcome, Dr.
Uh,
Doreen Downing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sandy. This is to hear it read back. I feel it. I feel what I experienced. And even though I had these nice walls up about I'm a professional, I've got a doctorate from the University of California, and I have a private practice, it's amazing how much we can hide behind what other people think is really, look at her, look at what she's accomplished. And we could hide. And that's who I'm speaking to, are those people, those professionals, mostly women, although I work with men too, who put up some kind of, and it's not really imposter syndrome. It really is. I also felt I was successful. I was successful, but I also hid this. I had to hide the fear of speaking up in public. And one way is just to avoid any situation.
Well, when I was on your podcast, which was a beautiful experience, I loved what I learned when you asked me,
Uh-huh.
what about your beginnings
Uh-huh.
led you to this work?
Mm-hmm. Are you going to ask me that?
I'm going to ask, I was so astounded in what I learned about myself. When you
What?
asked me that, I'm
Uh-huh.
like, so I'm going to ask you, Dr. Downing,
Uh-huh.
what about your origin and your beginnings led you to this path of offering this to others?
Wow. It is a deep question, isn't it? I could see
Yeah.
what it does. Yes, well, my mother was suffering from what you might call at the time it was manic depression. Now they call it bipolar. And she was hospitalized several times for deep, deep depression. I was 5 years old. And my grandmother would take care of us, my sister and me. And whenever mom came back from the hospital, my grandma would always do this. She put her finger over her mouth and shush us. This is like, shh, be quiet, or your mom is going to go back to the hospital. So that feeling, I think, early on is about um, I better be careful about what I say or how, I mean, look at you, how bright and spirited you are. I think I am that way too. But I had to tap it down as a little girl. Otherwise, my mommy might leave and go back to the hospital. I'd make her sick. So I would say that kind of root to me feeling confident to be more fully expressed in the world. I would say that was an early wound, and that's what my work as a psychologist and the fearless speaking mentor is about, is helping people discover what that wound is. And then because of all my training, I have techniques that heal it just like that. And then we move on to other ways of expression. So we're not always looking at being a better person to speak on a platform and share yourself in terms of performance. It's about finding what's authentically you. And when you find what's authentically you, your voice comes from that place. So finding your voice is really more about tapping into the power of who you truly are.
Well, I remember when I met you, I thought, oh, who needs that? Like, I could just speak. I have no problem speaking.
Yes.
And I am about to do a TED Talk, and I began to have vivid dreams of attack.
Ah.
And I realized that underneath the
Uh-huh.
confidence is the challenge to be ready,
Yes.
right? Like it's not a simple thing to speak.
Well, you're not only talking about speaking, you're putting your whole body out there, dear, right? Your heart, your brain, your soul, your being, your whole being is out there visible and totally exposed, let's put it that way. Although
Totally.
although luckily you have enough enjoyment going on about being, because I know your history also, that you do enjoy being in front of people and doing the work that you do to wake them up. But that's true. I do work with a lot of coaches who already have a business, but something starts showing up. Like they feel pretty good, confident, but let's say they go to a new challenge, like a TED Talk. They start having these anxieties that come up, and they need to explore that a little more deeply.
Well, I love it. It was so beautiful because we just met on your podcast.
Yes.
And I'm going through this and thinking, I now see such a value of having a comrade, having a direction, having a sidekick, having a whatever you call that, of a person who can guide you through the process.
Yeah. Mentor, right?
Yeah, to just say, I mean, nobody would think I had fears about doing a TED Talk.
I
I don't even think I have fears.
Yeah, no. But
But
this is deep unconscious stuff. If we were having a session, I'd help you tap into something, but it looks like you are already on your way, closer and closer, getting there.
well, you know what? I got the opportunity to reframe it
Yes. Yes.
from I get to do a TED Talk to I get to liberate women, and I'm all about it.
Great. Yes. Isn't that amazing, the what you just demonstrated right there? That it's that whole idea of what you focus on grows.
Such a sort it's such a big calling for me, and it's a pivot. I love what that dream interpretation said. It's a call to courage to speak your truth.
Yeah.
Work.
Yes, and I just wrote this down too, in fact. I was going to do a little talk on it, and it's about the shift that you're talking about, the reframe. It's not about confidence, it's about courage. Because people think that they got to be confident and they have to get the right tools, the right techniques, the right performance, master the right performance skills. But what they need is to be able to drop down and tap into the power of what courage is. And I think courage is what will lead to confidence. People don't realize that they're going for confidence, but if they start with courage, it empowers them.
Yeah.
And that's what it sounds like is happening to you.
I would have never believed I would have an emotional journey around this. And the beautiful thing is, my daughters are coming.
Uh-huh.
So now it's not only that I get to say what's my thing to say, but
Uh-huh.
it's my witness in the world. It's who I'm being as I'm saying it.
Yes, I think that's important. I hope people heard because I paused you on my podcast when you said something similar. It's about how you're being as you are speaking. So it's not all about your words and your what it is in terms of your message. It's also about what you standing in the middle of this state of you. This gets pretty
Yeah.
right
Well, it's like, and I mentioned in your podcast, I was going to do something that was a practice that if I
every day.
did it between now and that day,
Yeah.
it wouldn't affect anyone else, but it would affect who I get to be for myself.
Yes.
So that really, when I show up, it's what it is, it's what it isn't, it's what I say, but who I get to be for me is yummy. I love that.
Oh, yeah, I get it. And each one of what I wrote in my book, Find Your Voice, Change Your Life, each of the 7 steps or secrets I talk about start with be, so that my approach isn't about so
Mm,
much about speaking, it's about being. And the first step is be still. Inside, there's a place of stillness that helps you ground and
mm,
center. But people are so up here trying to remember the words and the script that lives up here. What you're doing and what I teach people how to do is to be able to drop down into the foundation of where being exists, which is in a silent, still place. And then, well, I have 6 other secrets, but I won't go into them all. But they all begin with be still, be present. You
I
want me to go
love,
further? Like you wanted me to go further?
you know what? I'm just sort of like satiated with B. Like, we don't talk about that very much, about who do you get to be? I get to be
Yeah.
so
And you
yummy.
already, and what I love about what we're doing today is to help people see that they already are in a very deep way a being that's walking around in the world. And then we have these layers. We have layers that we learned. We've learned to avoid, we've learned to move kind of maybe quietly for those of us who are more shy. We do have a different way of being in this world. It's okay to be whoever you are and to be in your own. I'm doing this kind of, right? And that's what you take to any moment, whether it's a TEDx talk or whether it's a conversation with us or, like you said, with a family member. So, daughters, you have daughters.
You know, I have daughters, and it was funny because they're focused on the airline security issues that are all about, maybe I won't make it. You know what I said? Here's what's so crazy. If I'm going to make a TED talk about not being a decline,
Yeah.
but a reveal,
Yes.
what is being revealed to us?
Uh-huh.
That we love each other, that we care about each other. I mean, okay, forget the plane. It'll either work or it won't. But
Uh-huh.
how can we focus on the reveal of it and not all the news of it?
Uh-huh.
There's so much anxiety. I'm like, let's just look at what we have. And I really felt a moment of challenge of integrity. It's like, you're about to go speak about this. Why don't you be about this?
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so integrity matters, you
Uh-huh.
know, being courageous matters.
What we were talking about courageous. And just a second ago when you were talking, you kind of went, you kind of had that, you were imitating what fear looks like, I think. But
Mhm.
what you also did was it just was like a snap. And then you went back to, you know, it was like you recognized, oh, there's fear. I don't need to go there. Ah, I could come back into a full sense right here. Being is aliveness, isn't it? It's just pure aliveness.
It's such a beautiful thing, too. I don't want to say focus on the positive because that is so Pollyanna, right? Like, let's just be positive.
Yeah.
No, let's just be right where we are.
Ooh, I like that because right where you are, what I'm thinking is that's an open space, so you can see what the reality is. I mean, you don't have to be totally enraged and angry, but you could say, "Oh, I'm angry. How am I going to communicate that? How am I going to effectively use, hopefully, my skills in communication to say what is upsetting to me to somebody, and rather than just be the reactive person who's angry." So what you just said is about you being in the moment is like being with all of you, who you are, even the dark sides and the shadow sides and the happy sides. I mean, we are all multicolored,
Mhm.
faceted.
And I sort of think of it, it's like all that I am and all that I'm not.
Uh-huh.
I'm just right here.
I love it. Yes.
That's all I have, really, is all
Oh,
that I am and all that I'm not. What else do I have?
that's so full of self-acceptance. And once again, being with you is something that lights me up. And I think that that's what your talk is going to be. You're going to be like a light on the stage, and you're going to be turning on lights. I remember one of the first times I was ever on a stage with a couple of hundred people in the audience. And one of the techniques I teach is to find just one person, especially if the lights aren't shining and you can't see, but find a pair of eyes in the audience. And then you're speaking just with that one person, and then their eyes start to light up. And then you find another pair of eyes, their eyes light up because there's something about that one-to-one connection energetically, kind of like you plug in your energy to somebody else's energy and you wake them up. And so this speaking to one person at a time is what I discovered is so what wakes the audience up and makes all the lights in the audience wake up.
I love that. Well, and what I have to say isn't just for women 50 plus, but that's my audience, right? But so far, there's some facts that are just astounding, like the average 60-year-old woman is going to live 26 more years, longer than it took to have a baby, raise the baby, send the baby to college. It's like, Those are a lot of years to become yourself fully.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So, what if the second half of life is a reveal,
Yes.
not a decline? I mean, there's so much language around it.
Right. Right. And to be fascinated by what might be revealed.
What
Yeah.
might be revealed?
Yeah. Just more of the who you are. And I like what you're saying about this. It's that, yeah, that's the core of your message. It's not about a decline. It's about opening up to what can be revealed, but you have to be looking or open, or at least have that attitude that it is something, because you never know when it's going to come around the corner or in a conversation. Like some of the things that just when we talk, it's like, oh, I think I think you've helped me reveal a couple of things from our conversations. And like what I said before we got on about connection being, it could be cute, but it's more that it's critical,
Critical.
right? So that to me is, oh, I haven't heard it in that way. That feels like it's a new reveal to me.
Well, when my husband passed away in 19, my hospice group, we ended our grief recovery and we decided to stay together. We've
Yes.
been together on Zoom at 9 a.m. every week for 6 years. It's like flying with a net under me. And that brings me so much confidence for my life. And that connection is just so important.
Right. Yeah, we've talked about loneliness, and it feels like finding those kinds of communities, and your Pink Lady Posse is one of those.
Well, what do you see when you're working with clients, besides the fact that obviously speaking comes with all that? Are you seeing that connection is a vital component of their well being?
Yes, not only just the connection to the kinds of things you and I have been talking about already today, about connection to our true beingness. And, I could say my heart is part of my truth, inner truth. But also, and this is what I mentioned just about that one-on-one in a large audience, connecting in a speaking sort of way to an audience, it's one person at a time. And so, uh, learning to be connected to yourself, but also be open to connecting to the person who's listening to you. You're listening to them, listening to you.
It's so beautiful to share space with you. That sounds so like, whatever. But to be in a conversation with you is to feel wanted and welcomed and
Oh,
accepted and,
yeah.
like worthy.
Well, I think what you're saying and what I'm saying, and that's why I feel like we could have weekly talks ourselves and just feel like you matter. And you say to me, you matter. And it feels like we share that. And so I'm very, very grateful for you. I know we're almost out of time here, but
If people want to get in touch with you, we talked about an email is a great way. Is it
yes.
Doreen at Doreen Downing dot?
Yes, and it's Doreen, DoreenDowning.com, Doreen at DoreenDowning.com. And of course, DoreenDowning.com is my website, but it just feels like what we did today was so personal that if anybody has a question about what it means to be more connected to their true voice, or if they have public speaking anxiety, or any kind of hint that they feel like they're holding themselves back from being more expressed, whether it's at work or launching a book, or you said even in your own living room. That's my passion, is to help people break through anxiety. And I have that Fearless Speaking Accelerator, a 5-week program that people can sign up for before the end of the year.
What a great way to end the year. Being less fearless, more
Yeah.
fearless. Yeah.
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 Fearless.
Fearless
Yeah.
5-week Fearless Accelerator.
Fearless Speaking Accelerator. Yes.
With this beautiful person and this beautiful opportunity. And I'm so happy to have you here. And thank you so much for sharing yourself, your vision, your mission, your love, and just your desire that women are able to speak their truth.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. It's not only a pleasure, it's a thrill. What did I say earlier? I feel like you help light up the world, and I know you do because you light me up. So thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Pink Lady Posse Podcast, where women go from what now to what's next. Come join us at pinkladyposse.com, where we share community, resources, and tools to support your next beautiful chapter. With love, light, and a little lipstick. See you next time.